Our 3 snipers have 3 snipers on your 3 snipers, who have 3 snipers on the left corner of your 3 snipers. What is going on, guys? It's S3E3 with the Hybrid Network, and today I'm talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Straight off the bat, this episode was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They talked about, a bunch of different issues, all like jam-packed in this one episode. We got to see Simmons and Fitz, after her coming back from across the other planet. We also got to see, lower tone moments with May and Hunter, with him and her trying to make their way up the ranks of Hydra. Then we also got to see, little bits and pieces of, Coulson and Daisy talking, and Lincoln and Daisy and Lincoln and, some of his backstory. So I'm just going to jump right into the episode. So this episode starts off, in the forest, middle of the night, and someone's being hunted by Rosalind Price's, organization. And of course, this person being hunted is Lincoln. Last time we saw him, he's kind of on the run because, people are starting to be aware of, the Inhumans and these alien threats, and Lincoln being one of them with what happened in the last episode in the hospital. So as we can see, Lincoln has kind of gone public. His identity has been taken by Rosalind Price and her organization and kind of put in the public. We then cut to Simmons and the team, just kind of talking, trying to see how she's doing, of course, because she was across the galaxy. They explained some of the aspects, how she survived. It's been 7 months, which they stated in the show. So she has, things wrong with her, respiratory system and other parts of her body. But, what they didn't address was, how did she eat? How did she drink? Like, how did she sustain herself for that period of time? I'm beginning to think, maybe, like, the time difference. Maybe she was there in Earth time for 7 months, but in actuality, she was only there for maybe, like, a few hours or days. What do you guys think? One of the things I liked about this scene, and, a lot of the scenes with Gemma throughout the episode, was we get to see how, reverse the roles are. In the second season, we got to see, how Fitz was affected, by his whole brain issues, and how he had to make his way back up to where he is now. And now we're kind of seeing the same exact thing with Gemma, kind of being distraught about what happened to her, and, Fitz being there to help her, make her way back up. So I just thought that was pretty cool on the writing part, and interesting to see how that's going to play throughout the season. We then cut to Lincoln and Daisy on the phone, and she's just trying to, try and get him to join S.H.I.E.L.D. and her, secret warriors, and he's not having it at all. And then, he kind of figures out, like, how did you get my phone? How did you figure out where I am? And then he kind of has a flashback and realizes, when Mac, tapped him on the shoulder last episode, it was actually to put a tracker. We then see where May and Hunter are in this episode, and obviously their endeavors to try, make it up the ranks of Hydra. I really enjoy these scenes with Hunter and May because, you get to see them sort of undercover. Hunter's kind of being the same old Hunter, going to see his pal in a pub and try and get some information on, Hydra and how to, make it up in the ranks. We see May is kind of like a punk rock, kind of like emo looking chick. And I think they're playing as boyfriend and girlfriend. I think that's what they were going for. And it works pretty well. May trying to act kind of younger and kind of hip is kind of funny. We then cut back to Lincoln, who is on the bus, just trying to get away from all these people. Of course, we see his identity has gone public. He's on TVs, literally on CNN and all the main broadcasts, saying alien threat, be careful, with his picture. So he is really not trying to be seen. While Lincoln is on the bus, a soldier actually notices that he's the guy on the picture, and tries to what any soldier would do in a TV show, would try and be the good guy and stop whatever's happening. Of course, Lincoln is freaking an Inhuman, and he kind of stops him and tells him to back off because you don't know what I'm capable of. And he pretty much shocks the bus and he gets out of there. What's really interesting is, while Lincoln's trying to escape and just, trying to protect himself, these little instances and kind of mishaps are occurring, and he's starting to believe that he's actually, a bad guy, when at heart, I really don't think he is. So we then cut to Coulson, Mac, and Daisy, and Daisy's very upset with Coulson. She's pretty much telling him, don't give up on Lincoln because he didn't give up on me when I was in his shoes. This scene then transitions nicely to kind of fluid shot to actually Fitz and Simmons, just chatting it up, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with Simmons going forward. So we can see whenever, Simmons encounters anything that makes a lot of noise or vibrates, she gets all disoriented and her vision gets kind of disrupted a bit. And this is from being on the planet for a duration of time. Do you guys think that Simmons is an Inhuman, or do you think she just has some sort of side effects for being outside of Earth for so long? Personally, if Simmons was an Inhuman, this would be very funny because the character last season was like detested anybody who was an Inhuman or had powers of any sort. that'd be ironic to see if that was actually the case and she has powers. We then got to Lincoln, who's on the run, and people are currently looking for this guy. Like, he is literally on America's Most Wanted. And you see him talking to this dude in a truck. We actually don't know what these two relationships are with one another, but I'm beginning to think it's kind of like a co-worker or maybe like an uncle figure. I don't think it was his father, but these two clearly had a significant emotional attachment to one another. So Lincoln is chatting it up with his John character, and he pretty much goes to his house. You know, he protects him and tells him, you know, I'll pay for your truck, you let me go, and I'll be off. And you know, they have some really great grounded emotional scenes. It showed Lincoln's, you know, like softer side, so we didn't really see before. We just saw, you know, the character who's just trying to, you know, do his thing with the Inhumans, protect these people, etc., etc. But now we're actually seeing, you know, his backstory fleshed out a little more with his John character and such. And of course, John ends up snaking his homie, brother, coworker, whatever it is, and the SWAT team with Price's character coming. We see a really cool scene next where Coulson pretends to be the president of the United States and calls Rosalind Price and basically tells her, you know, we're worrying about this all wrong, you know, you're trying to catch Inhumans, I'm trying to, you know, help them out, you know, why don't we work together, let's meet up on neutral grounds and have a conversation. Initially, she's not about it, but then, initially, she's not about the whole, you know, meeting up, talking, we want to do our thing, you do your thing, but after they find out the location of Lincoln via John, you know, snaking, they pretty much, you know, agree to meet up. I mean, I don't know how to feel about her character. I mean, she's definitely gonna stay around a while. I'm pretty sure her and her group are gonna be around throughout the season. Her henchman, that one bald dude, he's gonna be like an enemy of sorts, or, you know, conflict with them. You can clearly see what through what he does in the episode. We then cut to a really funny scene where, you know, we see Daisy, you know, just welcoming Simmons back. You know, she hasn't seen her in a while. You know, she's obviously gone through some stuff, and she can relate in a sense. And she kind of greets her with some daisies, and her name is kind of Daisy, so she's just kind of telling her, you know, like, take it as a little hint, my name changed, you've been gone, it was cool. So next we see that Coulson and Rosalind Price actually do meet up, and you know, she has her own kind of car, and they kind of have a little conversation talking about, like, you call your car a guy or girl, etc., and you name them. It's kind of funny. I gotta give it a hand to Rosalind. She pretty much makes some jokes about Coulson, you know, missing his arm and stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. They went like pun for pun. It was pretty jokes. Amidst all the jokes, you know, Coulson makes a very good point stating that, you know, don't put these Inhumans and alien stuff public because it's gonna come around and bite you in the ass pretty much. In this next scene, we actually see May and Hunter again, and you know, Hunter, you know, talked to his little buddy in the bar, and now he's actually going up the ranks in Hydra, and to do that, he needs to prove that he is worthy. Not like Thor's hammer worthy, but he needs to, you know, show he's tough enough to be with Hydra, the new Hydra that Ward is leading. So we see a twist in this actually, where it turns out that the guy he was talking to does not like him at all, and is actually the guy he needs to fight pretty much to the death. I was watching the scene and I'm like, wait, where's the guy? Oh, like Hunter's boy is such a snake. Like he went like 0 to 100 very quickly. My God, these were like some Daredevil kind of like level of violence. Like Hunter was getting his ass beat. By the end of this fighting scene, like he looked like he was straight out of Mad Max Fury Road. Like this guy was getting his like the beat out of him. Like these scenes with Hunter was probably one of the best I've seen with him like ever. Like these were so intense and gory. Like he was like bleeding everywhere. He had no shirt on, and like he was just like there was nothing holding him back. It was ridiculous. So kudos to him. That was some really, really great acting. Like I didn't recognize the character. That's how you know you're doing a great job. During this scene, Coulson is actually talking with Price, and you know, they're kind of negotiating what's gonna go on. You know, at the hospital, you did get a picture of Lincoln, but you know, your surveillance also picked up some other stuff, but you didn't put it out. So now this is where we get to the big stuff. So Daisy's just there, you know, trying to talk to Lincoln, you know, just trying to explain to him everything's gonna be okay, we're gonna work it out. You know, we got Coulson with us to back you up. Everything looking good, but you know, while she's talking to the guy, you know, giving him some, you know, comfort, she goes for a kiss. I was like, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Did you, wait, what? I kind of knew she had a thing for Lincoln, like when he was helping her out back on the Inhuman place, but like I didn't see that coming. Like I was really caught off guard. So she kisses him and he kind of agrees, you know, okay, I'll work with you, but not with S.H.I.E.L.D. So right, of course, when everything is going well, Mac has to walk in and say, you know, he has to go with Price. Lincoln is not having it. So pretty much after, you know, they realize that shit's going down, Lincoln kind of just like electrocutes everyone and like cuts. What's really funny about this scene is, you know, Daisy gives a threat. You know, the person we met in season 1, you know, Sky, who's a computer hacker, like that's gone, like she's not that anymore. She's just giving threats left, right, and center. She's like, I could literally like explode you right now with vibrations. And he doesn't really care. Because his backup is, I have 3 snipers. That is such a BS bluff. Like, it's so stupid. So as the scene wraps up, obviously Coulson and Daisy have a big argument with one another. Daisy's just telling Coulson, you know, like, why did you figure out the situation after Lincoln was gone? We could have worked something out. And like, why didn't you trust me? It's pretty much what she's trying to get across. Coulson tells her that, you know, they have pictures of you to fix things. We need to work together. With all these other people we've worked with in the past, things never ended up going well. And I think if we can just put our heads together and work towards the same goal, things will be much easier for both of us. Coulson does make a very good point. You know, what happened in the last season with, you know, the new leader of S.H.I.E.L.D, that didn't go well. And they kind of like didn't work with other people the best that they could have. And the result wasn't the best in the end. A really quick scene, we see that Hunter clearly made it in the ranks, and now he's talking to Ward's henchmen. We didn't know. He's kind of running stuff for, I guess, the smaller subsidiaries. And Hunter pretty much gets to talk to him. And they kind of mention that he's gonna meet Ward. That's gonna be a really big scene because we're gonna see how that works out. Is he gonna try and pretend that he left S.H.I.E.L.D? Is Ward just gonna kill him on the spot? Who knows? And the very last scene of this episode, it's pretty much, you know, Bobby just working out, doing her thing, you know, trying to work on her knee, whatever. And she goes into the labs and sees Simmons working. Pretty much, Bobby's just asking Simmons, like, why are you, you know, experimenting on this rock that, you know, teleported you across the freaking galaxy and pretty much left you stranded there. Simmons' reply was pretty interesting. She kind of says, I have to go back there. She says it with a sort of desperation, like she has a friend there or there's something that she needs to do back on that planet. And that ends up our episode, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, don't forget, go give it a thumbs up if you already did. Don't forget to subscribe to the Hybrid Network if you have not. Alright guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. What did you think about this episode of S.H.I.E.L.D? Did you think it was effective, it was good, it was bad? What do you think Simmons is gonna do back on that planet? Why did she have to go there? Let me know in the comment section below. Also guys, if you haven't already, check out my Farewell34 channel, be subscribed. Also, you can see my top 5 favorite scenes from this episode on my channel. Go check it out. Alright guys, this is Farewell34 with the Hybrid Network signing out. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.